Hello, I'm Tim Beggins, president of Elk Trading Company. In this week's top news for natural gas. Number one, in the US, cold Arctic blasts are expected to result in some very large storage withdrawals over the next 3 weeks. Number two, in Europe, the Hammerfest LNG facility in Norway is expected to be down through November 19th due to a failed compressor. Number three, in China, the December import and export numbers beat expectations. And number four, rest of the world. ExxonMobil has discovered gas in its offshore block of Egypt. Let's take a look at the spot continuation chart for natural gas. Natural gas prices are currently trading 401 and a half, up 2.6 cents, or 0.65% higher on the day. Prices gapped up and traded as high as 436.90, but have since fallen lower as traders look to the February contract and weather expectations. Let's take a look at the spot February chart. As you can see with this particular chart, prices jumped up this morning overnight and traded almost as high as 440, 430 with the pivot resistance. It failed at that point and fell lower, currently trading again at 401.90. Our first support will be at 389.70 on pivot support and then 377.70. Let's take a look at the reasons why natural gas prices may have fallen off. As you can see with the February contract, looking at the Bollinger Bands, you can see that prices gapped well over the Bollinger Band and then retreated back down as mean reverted. So far right now, currently trading 402.30. Let's take a small look at the hourly chart. As you can see, prices gapping up overnight, but then failing to continue that momentum up toward that pivot resistance at 444.30. Prices were holding around 423, its first pivot support, but then fell through that to its second pivot support at 411, and now is trading back down and holding above its third pivot support at 389.70. So why are prices coming off? Well, the weather is still uncertain for February, and this is February futures, where January cash prices are screaming higher with the cold Arctic temperatures across much of the country. So let's take a look at the weather. Looking at the global map, we can see that cold Arctic air continues to build across eastern Siberia and is a highway across the globe into Canada and then down into the United States. As you can see over this time lapse, we continue to see cold Arctic blasts pushing through the upper Midwest of the United States and over to the mid-Atlantic states and parts of the Southeast, at least through the next 2 to 3 weeks, possibly all the way through the end of the month. But February is still undetermined. Let's take a look at the United States. As you can see, cold temperatures continue to push through, again, through North Dakota, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, and pushing down through the Ohio and Tennessee valleys over the next few days. This cold Arctic blast continues to push out over New England by Thursday, and then we get another blast coming in on Saturday and pushing down through much of the country and across by Wednesday and Thursday. That then recycles again, and it looks like we might have another blast right toward the end of the month. Let's take a look at the snowpack. The snowpack continues to build across the United States. As you can see, snow covers much of the Rockies and across the midsection of the country and across over into New England. This is can continue to keep temperatures cooler as we look for more Arctic air to build. As you can see with the ice, ice continues to build across Hudson Bay and now has covered the entire northern approaches to Hudson Bay and James Bay. Just the eastern shore remains slightly ice-free, but it is building. Once this is completely full of ice, cold Arctic air now can literally skate across this large body of water and descend directly down into the mid-Atlantic states. So let's take a look at the Great Lakes. This is a snapshot of Lake Michigan and Lake Superior. As you can see, The ice continues to build in the lower depths, and there is some ice across much of the entire body of water, but it's still minimal. This is at least blocking some of that cold Arctic air from getting further south. Let's take a look at Europe. Europe is fairly cool to normal at this stage for this start of this week and will continue until tomorrow and Wednesday. But then it seems to just return back to normal as we progress through this week. Much of the cold Arctic air remains locked into Scandinavia and Russia, with some hints that maybe this might change as we get closer and closer to the end of the month. How about Asia? Asia's similar pattern here, much about normal at this stage, with some brief cold air descending into the eastern provinces, possibly on Tuesday night into Wednesday, and then it looks to retreat again. So the cold Arctic air still over eastern Siberia and giving cooler temperatures, at least fairly normal at this stage for the Koreas and Japan, and at least Beijing for China, but the eastern provinces may turn colder as we get toward the end of the month. So again, let's recap where we are today in natural gas, currently trading at 401.20, up 2.6 cents on the day. Let us know your thoughts. Please hit that like and subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon.